Welcome to Friends and Fiction. 4 New York Times bestselling authors, endless stories. Novelists Mary Kay Andrews, Kristin Harmel, Kristy Woodson Harvey, and Patti Callahan Henry are 4 longtime friends with more than 70 published books between them. Together, they host Friends and Fiction, with author interviews and fascinating insider talk about publishing and writing, to highlight and support independent bookstores. They discuss the books they've written, the books they're reading now, and the art of storytelling. If you love books and you're curious about the writing world, you're in the right place. Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas Eve and happy holidays to all of you. So the 4 Friends and Fiction hosts are off this week and next for the holidays, but we really wanted to share some of our favorite past episodes with you. So tonight we are digging deep into the vault to bring you our interview with the hugely best-selling author, Taylor Jenkins Reid, from August of 2021, when she joined us to talk about Malibu Rising. Now, of course, this summer, she had a huge hit with Atmosphere, which was a #1 New York Times bestseller and a Good Morning America pick. It is an epic novel set against the backdrop of the 1980s space shuttle program, and it's about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits. I absolutely devoured this book. And if you haven't read it yet, I would really encourage you to add it to your TBR list, especially after you hear this interview from a few years ago that we did with Taylor. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this vintage Friends and Fiction episode. From all of us here at Friends and Fiction, we wish you peace, joy, and love during this holiday season, in the new year, and beyond. We will see you next week for another vintage episode, and then we will be back with a brand new episode on January 6th as we welcome the incredible Brad Meltzer. You guys are not going to want to miss this one. So happy holidays, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful holiday season.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We have so much to look forward to tonight. I'm Kristy Woodson Harvey, and I will be your host.
I'm Mary Kay Andrews. Remember me?
I'm Kristin Harmel.
She's gone 1 week. She thinks we could possibly forget her. I am Patti Callahan.
And this is Friends and Fiction, New York Times bestselling authors, endless stories to support independent bookstores. Tonight, you'll meet Taylor Jenkins Reid. We're so excited. And we will talk about her gorgeous new book, Malibu Rising, which released on June 1st and was hands down one of my favorite books of the year.
And also in our continuing support of indie booksellers, tonight our bookstore of the week is Book Soup, located in good old Los Angeles, California. We will be telling you a little bit more about that in just a little while.
And we have a partner tonight that we want to thank so much, Caroline's Cakes. This month, the 5 of us are taking a bite out of summer with Caroline's Cakes. All month long, we'll be telling you about our beach bag must-haves, favorite reads of the summer, our ideal Labor Day weekend, and our favorite Caroline's Cake Bite flavor on our individual Facebook and on our Instagram. So make sure you're following all of us. And we are offering you the chance to win the ultimate Labor Day weekend beach bag, brimming with swag from Friends and Fiction. Swag, and Caroline's. Information is under announcements on our Facebook page. And some of you might know that the other ladies of the Fab Five call me Peach. And to explain that, it's not because I'm so peachy. It's because my initials are PCH. And so I have to tell you that it is actually National Peach Month. So all month long, the ladies are going to send me gifts.
Yes.
Right? Is that happening?
I don't think I put that in the script.
I feel like I missed the memo about that.
Mary Kay just went.
You miss 1 week and then you don't get the memo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Last week we all voted that you were going to send them all, Mary Kay. That's the plan.
Month-long peach gifts. Yeah. Anyway, they have a decadent peach delight cake. So I just thought I'd let you know that.
Yummy. And you already know that we partner with Parade Magazine every single week online. We stream from their Facebook page for our show, and we have an original essay in their online magazine every week. This week, Mary Kay wrote a really beautiful one about how everyone has a story of their own called What Dream Do You Have? You can find it linked on our Facebook page and in our Instagram bio. But meanwhile, Mary Kay, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I was inspired to write the essay after I read a New York Times profile about Olympic gymnast Simone Biles. You know, her story started with a mother struggling with addiction issues, and she and her younger sister were in and out of foster care until her grandfather stepped in and adopted the two of them.
Wow.
Now that story could have had a really different ending. And that sort of started me thinking about examining a crossroads in my career and my life, and how taking control of my ambitions changed my outcome. And, the thing is, I think maybe as women, sometimes we feel like we don't control our own narrative. And so I wonder, ladies, if there was a time in your life story where you just had to grab the wheel.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that about women feeling like you can't control your own narrative. And I think that's one of the best lessons you can learn as an adult woman. And for me, I think the moment was making the switch from writing romantic comedy to writing historical fiction, which is not what I was being told I should do. It was not what I was being told I could do. And I thought, but that's where my heart is. And that's what I need to try to do. And I think summoning that courage to chart my own path. Yes, I did say chart, ladies.
I wasn't going to say a word.
Summoning that courage.
I missed it. It just went. I was nodding.
Summoning that courage, I think, made a big difference in my life.
So I could probably have the same answer as both of you if I guess what you're going to say. But I thought I'd say something a little different because might sound silly to some people, but deciding to move to Beaufort, to move to the beach. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but there were like a million reasons that we shouldn't. And there were a lot of people who told us we couldn't do that and we couldn't live there and that wasn't okay. And it was like it felt like a really, really big step and a huge decision to be like, actually, why can't we? What if we could? And it's been great. I'm so glad we did it.
It's awesome.
I mean, Mary Kay, when I read, I texted you after I finished reading it. I just thought it was such a beautiful essay. Right. And I felt like, and you put a little list at the bottom and I printed it because it's really, really, I mean, we talk all the time, but it just was this really great, it kind of hit the right notes, but it has something to do with agency, right? Like with taking agency of our own life and saying, you do not get to define me. And I mean, most people here know I was a pediatric nurse before I started writing. And when I met Mary Kay Andrews at a Christmas party, a company Christmas party, gosh, it's probably been 25 years. I was afraid to say, I'm writing a book. I pulled her aside and whispered like I was asking for a porn channel. I was like, will you go out to lunch with me and talk about writing? And I
what
feel like
simile. The simile of the night goes to Patti.
I should have thought about that before I said it. But anyway, it's just, but you feel like it's embarrassing to say, I want to take agency of my own life and do this new thing that nobody I know is doing and be brave enough to whisper it to somebody else. And then you just kind of go from there. So reading that essay made me remember that, Mary Kay.
Thank you.
So true, Patti.
I'll try to not talk about that anymore.
No more porn. No more porn.
I'm so the last person that has the porn channel, but I really want to hear what Taylor has to say about that. And we
about the porn channel.
No, I mean maybe I don't know. We just met, but we love sharing with all of you. We love sharing our big news with you first, and we've got a little something. I just spit on myself. That's unfortunate.
Well, We do have something cool to share with you tonight. And I think that was the perfect segue, not the spit part, but what we were talking about earlier. Because we were talking about making courageous leaps into something a little bit new, a little bit of an unexpected direction. So without further ado, we are so excited to share with you the brand new cover of Kristy's March 29th, 2022 release, The Wedding Veil. Sean, can you
Drum roll.
Yay!
Isn't it gorgeous?
So pretty.
Beautiful.
I love it.
We're always spoiled because we always get to see it first, but we never lose our reaction. We're like,
No, it's
They've
so
seen
gorgeous.
all 277 iterations of the
That's
wedding
true.
veil cover.
But this is the winner. This is the winner. Kristy,
so
can you tell us-
Kristy, do you want to tell us? Oh, sorry. You asked. Do you want to tell us about the wedding veil? I want to hear about it, not just the cover.
Super quickly, I'm so excited about this book. So Edith Vanderbilt, who was the first mistress of Biltmore Estate, which you can see in the background there, had this really almost kind of mythic family wedding veil that was worn by her grandmother, her mother, her sisters, her daughter Cornelia, and then it disappeared. So fast forward about 100 years, and fictional Julia Baxter is standing in the back of the church in the bridal room getting ready. Her grandmother is getting ready to put her wedding veil on her head. And it all of a sudden hits her that her marriage isn't going to last. And then she's going to be the one to sully the magic of her family wedding veil. And so we get to follow these four women from these very different time periods who are facing some really similar situations, but in very different time periods. And this each of their wedding veils kind of becomes this symbol of something that they have to let go of in order to move forward in their lives. And of course, we get to find out my version, of course, of what happens to the real life Vanderbilt veil. So I'm really excited. Oh, and I was going to tell you guys, I am doing a fun little pre-order freebie that I know we do sometimes. And so if you pre-order, there should be a post on Facebook shortly. You get this really pretty, the wedding veil rosebud tea and a book plate and a bookmark. And so pre-order, sign up. Anyway, I can't wait to share it with y'all. I'm so excited.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay. Okay, so now let's talk about our incredible guest, Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Can't wait.
The New York Times bestselling author of 7 novels, including Malibu Rising, Daisy Jones and the Six, and The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
She's kind of a slacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Nothing. Her books have been selected by Reese's Book Club, and that's Reese Witherspoon. Read with Jenna, Indie Next.
Is it?
Thanks for clarifying.
Some
Thanks.
people might not know. I don't know. Some people live in caves. What do you want? Anyway, Indie Next, Best of Amazon, Book of the Month, and they've been featured in People, University Weekly, Entertainment Weekly, and Car and Driver.
Oh my Lord.
I see you're on a mission to make sure we don't forget you again. Is that what this is? Yeah, she's staking her claim. I'm back. All right. So for Taylor's novel, Daisy Jones and the Six, she wrote not only the novel, but also the lyrics for each song featured in the book, which is so cool. The novel was named one of the best books of 2019 by NPR, The Washington Post, Car and Driver. Obviously. No kidding about that. And many other media outlets. Although I'm sure if Car and Driver had a book pick, this would be it.
Yes,
it is currently being adapted into a limited TV series for Amazon by Hello Sunshine.
Cool.
Right? Reese Witherspoon's company.
Yep.
Starring Riley Keough, who of course is Elvis's granddaughter, which seems very
cool.
in this book.
Very fitting.
Yeah.
It was when they were talking about, when she sold the rights and they were talking about casting the movie, I was like, please don't mess up Daisy. Please don't mess up Daisy. Please don't mess up Daisy.
It's a great pick.
It's a great pick. So Taylor lives in Los Angeles with her husband and her 5-year-old daughter, and her new book, Malibu Rising, came out in June and was a Read with Jenna book club pick. It is also set to be adapted into a series for Hulu. The novel follows the 4 famous Riva siblings through one eventful night, one party, in the summer of 1983. Sounds like spring break. Anyway, during their annual end of summer party, secrets are revealed, and over the span of just a few hours, lives are changed forever.
Yeah. Good
Amazing. Stuff. All right. Well, Sean, let's bring Taylor on.
Hi, Taylor. Hello.
Thank you.
So good to be here.
Thank you for coming. Welcome. We're so excited to be here. We're so excited for you. You have not one, but 2 books on the New York Times bestseller list for, is it the 10th week the Malibu Rising's been on?
Yeah, 10 weeks as of today. Yeah.
And then The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is on paperback and combined, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So excited.
Wow.
Well, before we get started, could you tell us just a little bit about Malibu Rising?
Yeah, I would love to. Malibu Rising is the story of the Riva family, and they are 4 siblings living in Malibu in the early 80s. They're all surfers. Nina, the oldest, is a supermodel, and Jay is like a championship surfer, and Hud's a surf photographer, and Kit is like the bold, risky one who's maybe the most talented of them all. And they're throwing a rager at the end of the summer in 1983. And Malibu Rising is a story of that day. So you go through the day with them hour by hour, going into the party to see this wild night unfold, because you know that by the end of it, somehow, somewhere, somebody sets a fire and the whole thing ends in flames.
Well, it was truly incredible. And I read in an interview that you did that your favorite quote is, "Everyone wants to be Cary Grant, even Cary Grant," which was said by Cary Grant. And you said, I think that's the very essence of what I've been writing about for 3 books now. And when I read that, I was like, yes, like it just hit me like in the exact right spot. So as someone who has devoured and loved your last 3 books, like I really feel that quote for these books. But for those people who maybe haven't read all of your books yet, or those 3 books, can you tell us like what you meant by that?
Yeah. Well, so when I was a kid, I was really, really obsessed with Hollywood, and it was on 2 levels. I was really obsessed with movies and TV, and then I was also really obsessed with the people that made them. The actors, the writers, directors, what's the story behind the story that I'm learning? And when I came across that quote when I was a teenager, and I went through a really intense Cary Grant phase where I watched everything that he was in, and I just, still to this day, I just am endlessly charmed by him. And so I came across that quote, and what I realized is, whatever this fiction is that we're being sold, whether it's the story or even what we're told is the behind the scenes truth, it's all manufactured. It's not real. Even Cary Grant, who is the most debonair, dashing, charming, romantic hero, even Cary Grant doesn't feel like Cary Grant. It doesn't exist. And that broke a lot of things open for me. You know, when I was a teenager, it was more like, isn't this the most clever quote you've ever heard? You know, and I would tell everybody. My best friend at the time was like, I get it. Everybody wants to be Cary Grant. Cary Grant, you know, and like, he would make fun of me. I was just really obsessed with it. And then later on, when I started writing about famous people, I realized I keep coming back to that same theme, that there's a difference between what you're being sold and what's actually happening. And that tension and the tension between those 2 things is what my work is about.
Love it.
That's so well said. So how do you balance that? You know, you have these really glittering worlds, but you're also revealing this kind of deep, dark underbelly of, you know, some of the most idealized things that, you know, we can think of: rock stars, movie stars, models, famous surfers. So how do you balance? Because I still feel like in these stories, even though you know that deep, dark underbelly, you still leave with the sense of this kind of, there's still a little bit of glitter, you know, to be had in these worlds for sure. And you balance that so well. So can you talk about that?
Thank you. I think really what it is that I like the glitter just as much as I like the truth, you know? And if you're not going to if you're not going to indulge in the glitter, then why are we here? Why are we in Hollywood? Why are we on the Sunset Strip? Why are we on the beach, hanging out with supermodels? You know, like, you know, I want it to be fun, and I want you to be able to feel those moments where like everything sort of shines. Because what's fun to me is the difference and the juxtaposition of those two things. Everything looks really glittery and shiny, and everybody's rich and beautiful. Are their lives better than ours?
Yeah,
probably not. Everyone has problems, and so I think what it is trying to tell the truth as close as I can get to it. And the truth is that it is both seedy and glamorous. You know, 70s rock is really super cool. And also there is a sadness in it. You know, being a rock star is probably super fun. And at the same time, really chaotic and hard to do. And so I think the truth is that there is a balance of those things. And I'm trying to get there as close as I can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You do an amazing job. I mean, in Daisy Jones and the Six, you know, one minute you're wishing you were her, and the next minute you're like, oh, thank God that I don't have that life.
That's so true.
You do such an incredible job of the and both with that instead of the either or. So
thank you.
Kudos. As a high school Greek mythology geek, I love that you have said, I return to myth, the retelling of tales as old as time. How do you think that the reading and the learning of these stories has influenced you, mythology in general, has influenced you as a writer, in particular with Malibu Rising, which does feel mythic in a lot of ways? And so does Daisy Jones and the Six. It's very much a mythic tale of rock and roll. So how has mythology affected your storytelling?
I love that question. I think, you know, for me, and it's been a process of learning this throughout the, I guess, 7 books that I've published now, is that you have stories that can be really good stories, and then stories that sort of transcend just the book that they're in. They become larger than just that moment. And for me, you know, the most obvious place that we go to for that are these myths that we keep telling in our society over and over and over. When, you know, Phoebe Waller-Bridge says this really great thing about, like, you have to go Greek in order to really get into the real meat of something. You know, what is the Greek tragedy that we're exploring at any given time? And I think what I realized, and it's funny because what led me to it was more not technically myth, but The Great Gatsby is a book that I think transcends the story. The characters, Daisy Buchanan isn't just a character. She is an archetype for a type of person. You know, Jay Gatsby is not just one person. He's specific, but it's also this specific person becoming universal. He is the embodiment of a dream that will not die. And so how do you make a character who isn't just in that specific story, but becomes representative of something much larger? And myth teaches us how to do that. And so with Evelyn Hugo, with Daisy Jones, with Nina Riva, it's a question of, you know, what about them can I create that, at least for me, feels big and bigger than just this moment that we're learning about them in the story.
I think the word archetype just nails it on the head, right? So if you can, when you take Nina or you take Daisy, they are an archetype of a very specific kind of person. And then you give them such detailed peculiarities that Daisy I can see in my mind, right? And same with Nina, but they're also representative. So I really love that. And in Malibu Rising, surfing feels symbolic too, and almost religious, like a religious experience.
Yeah.
I've never surfed because my sense of balance is about as good as a toddler. So, so why surfing? What does it mean to you? I can tell you've done it. There's no way you could describe it that way without having been on a board. So what does it mean to you and the Riva family?
Patti, I might have fooled you a bit there.
Wow.
I've been on a board for about 20 minutes in Hawaii on vacation, and it was embarrassing.
I feel so much better.
I am shocked by that because
Yeah,
I was like, this woman is a surfer.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I like to pretend, and so I learned a lot about it, and then I pretended for a while.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah. It was really fun to do. I think here's the thing about surfing that I came to appreciate, both talking to surfers, learning about surfing, and also as just someone that loves the water. Yeah. It's one of the only sports that I can think of that requires you have a relationship to Mother Nature. You cannot surf if the water is not good for surfing. And if you think, I don't really feel like surfing today, you could miss an incredible once in a lifetime wave. That is, that's just not the same if somebody's playing soccer or somebody's playing tennis or somebody's playing football. Those are a different type of reward structure, but you have to have a relationship with the ocean and you have to have a respect for the ocean in order to surf. And I think that's a really, really beautiful thing. When you talk to surfers, people that get up at, early in the morning to get out there, they get in, especially when we're talking about California surfers, the Pacific Ocean is very cold. You're getting up, you're going into the cold water, you're putting on a wetsuit, you're doing it because you love the ocean, you love to surf, and that chance that you might just find the perfect wave and ride it perfectly. That's a thing that does require some level of chance that can easily become spiritual and religious.
I love it.
This ocean, this wave was given to me. And
I felt that way.
I find that just really, really fascinating. No wave, like I was watching this documentary about Kelly Slater, and he has a picture of this like perfect wave that he did not get. And it's like, this is the wave that he
got away.
Yeah. The number one name in surfing. This is the guy that is known to be a phenomenal surfer. And even for him, there's that wave that eludes you.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it's a sport, but it's an adventure. It's a give and take. I find that really, really fascinating.
Yeah, it's a great example of world building.
Yeah.
Because so many of us, we create these worlds that we don't actually in real life know anything about or have any talent for. Taylor, beneath the shimmering facade of the world you created in Malibu Rising, there's a very real and very painful family past that twists and turns, and it affects each of the siblings' present lives in a real way. Nina falls into fame, not because she wants to or is seeking it, but because she has to support her siblings. And her entire life is then dictated by her devotion to her family. And she's such a fascinating character. I loved how the outer world defined her by her beauty, but she never really took much stock in it. And the rest of it, the lens she sees her life through, revolves around how she's able to manage the happiness of her siblings. And, more than any other person, I think she must be the true embodiment of the Hollywood persona that is one person publicly and then somebody completely different inside. And I wondered if there was anybody who inspired her character. And, we're seeing questions popping up from viewers wanting to know, is it Stevie Nicks?
Yeah. It's funny, with every book, there's always somebody that you can point to that it seems like I'm writing about, right? So Daisy Jones seems like it's about Stevie Nicks, or Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, especially for people that haven't read it, seems like it's about Liz Taylor. You know, for this, I think Nina Riva comes closest to somebody like Brooke Shields, somebody put in the public eye, you know,
interesting,
whose image was sort of controlled for them and sexualized for them,
especially by a stage mom.
Yeah. And oddly enough, and I swear I didn't do this on purpose because Brooke Shields does not occur to me until many drafts later, but Brooke Shields then went on to marry a tennis star.
You know, that's right.
The parallels there. But
I believe I didn't think of that.
I really try very hard to make sure that if I'm inspired by somebody, and the most direct inspiration for any of these books was my love of Stevie Nicks, wanting to write something, you know, in that vein. But I just have this thing where I feel like I don't want to use an actual this person's life, you know?
Yeah,
so
sure.
I try to make sure nothing that happens in Daisy Jones happened to Stevie Nicks, really. Or like, you know, there are things that you can read and you'll say, oh, maybe this is Elizabeth Taylor and Evelyn Hugo, but there's a lot of stuff about Evelyn Hugo that is very different than Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
You know, and so same with Brooke Shields for this one. There's a sense, and you see that they maybe would occupy the same space within, you know, I'm in a fictional culture and Brooke Shields is our real culture.
Yeah.
But then how do they differ from there? And so did a lot of research about Brooke Shields, and I found her just really, really fascinating, and some of the things that Nina goes through in terms of the way that she's seen and the way that she's treated by the men around her was not dissimilar to Brooke Shields' Calvin Klein campaign back then.
And it kind of goes back to, the point at which Brooke Shields decided to take over her own narrative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You know, people are also fascinated with Mick Riva, the shadowy presence in their lives, always gone, but always there.
Yeah.
Did you set out to make Mick a foil for Nina? Or is he one? Yeah,
I mean, look, Mick has been now in 3 of my books. He's mentioned very briefly in Daisy Jones, but he shows up for the first time in Evelyn Hugo. And really, to be honest, he came to me as a foil for Evelyn Hugo. This was, you know, especially he is her 3rd husband. The scene, he really just occupies like 1 chapter, and
it's funny. I don't remember that. Like, I love that book so much, but I didn't put that together. So I've got to go back and like look at that.
Yeah. So he is the husband that Evelyn marries in Vegas, and he serves a very specific purpose in that story, and a big part of that purpose was, you know, somebody who thinks that they're one step ahead of Evelyn. But nobody's ever a step ahead of Evelyn. Evelyn is always in charge. And so I really enjoyed writing him as someone who, you know, was going to sort of get his comeuppance a little bit. And so I then, in Daisy Jones, I had this scene where I wanted to put somebody who had been in Evelyn Hugo in the book. And I had this opportunity to put him in a scene where he just seemed like a real cad. And I thought, well, that works. And then what I realized with Malibu Rising is that I wanted to write a story about the children of famous people.
Yeah.
When that lens is not something that you chose, it's something that was chosen for you.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to write about children who had to raise themselves because their parents weren't there.
Yeah.
And so basically it comes down to like, okay, who's the famous man who's going to leave his kids? That's Mick Reid.
Yeah, you had him. Yeah.
You already knew him. Yeah. You already know him.
But what was a nice opportunity for me to explore was that Mick Riva is a man, and I had a lot of fun writing him because he's the sort of man who, in our society, handsome, white, charming, talented men are often able to get away with so much.
Yeah.
We will excuse their behavior time and time again if we can. We will sometimes trip over ourselves to be like, oh, well, you understand. Like, I don't think he really meant that, you know.
Right. He was messed up on drugs. He went into rehab right after that.
Yeah. I mean, if they're handsome enough and talented enough and charming enough, and they're a man, especially a white man, we will excuse it all.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So what I wanted to think about was it's not necessarily that man that I'm as interested in, but if this is a guy who will just blow up anything and let the chips fall where they may, and devil may care, there's probably a woman behind him cleaning it all up.
Yeah.
Who's the person who has to do the work that Mick Riva is not bothering to do?
Yeah.
So he's going to have these kids, and then he's going to get bored of being, a conventional dad. He's going to take off. Who are the women left behind raising those children?
Yeah.
And that becomes the story of Nina Riva. And so that the story really took shape for me at that moment. Show me the woman who's cleaning up the messes.
Yeah.
And let's see what that life is like. And let's see if there's a mess that is just so vast that she will finally say no.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I found that that's so interesting about Nina, but I felt like her mother, June, was such an interesting, deceptively complex character too, because she was really the first one cleaning up the messes, right? And setting that precedent for it. So Taylor, I wanted to just ask you a question about yourself. You moved to Hollywood at the age of 21, right? Yeah. And before becoming a novelist, you did stints in entertainment, tech, casting, and even TV writing. How cool.
Yes.
I know, how cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you talk a little bit about where you're from, what drew you to Hollywood, and how you finally turned to writing about fame and Tinseltown?
Yeah, I am from Acton, Massachusetts. I love Massachusetts with my whole heart. I miss it dearly. I especially miss it now when it's so hot here in California. And I know I'm like seeing that like Starbucks is like about to start their pumpkin spice latte. And I'm like, other areas like back home, it's going to start to cool down soon, and like it won't here. And I look for my fall foliage. But I just always knew, you could ask me at 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, it didn't matter. What do you want to do when you grow up? I'm going to Hollywood. That was the thing. Awesome. I knew what I wanted, and I was obsessed with Hollywood, film, television. I couldn't have told you what exactly I wanted to do, but I knew that that's what it was. Yeah, so amazing. I went to film and television school in Boston. I came out here when I turned 21. I got a job in casting, and loved it. Yeah. It was so fun and everything that I thought it would be. And I'm 21 years old. I'm working my first job out of college. There's all these like stars from WB soap operas coming in, where it's like, oh, Scott Speedman from Felicity is here. Just walked in, I was in heaven. I loved it. But I don't know why. I remember coming into work morning after morning, and I would have this moment where I was like, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm
that
close.
Feeling.
It's not exactly right.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to figure it out. And that's why I bounced from place to place. But eventually what I realized is I'm really, really interested in storytelling, and I'm really interested in character. And that's why casting was very interesting to me. But ultimately, I want to make the characters. I want to create that world. And so I tried my hand at writing film once or twice, tried, a little bit of TV. And then I was like, I just love books. And so I gave that a shot. And that was like, it's not unlike when you meet the love of your life. Like when I met my husband, and halfway through our first date, I was like, I've known you for years.
Yes.
And that's what writing books.
I love that.
That's what it was for me. It was like, here it is. This is the thing I was meant to do. Yep. And it took me a little while to piece together that I could write books about how much I love Hollywood. And
I love that.
Once those two things came together, I really feel like I'm in this phase of my career where I can just say definitively from the purest place of my heart, I'm doing what I love, and I'm writing the books that I want to see on the shelf. And it's just such a lovely feeling.
God, I love that so much. And, I'm so interested though, how your perspective has shifted because you write about fame, you write about Hollywood, you write about, as we were talking about earlier, the glamour on one side, but kind of the seedy underbelly of it on the other side, the dark side to it. When you started off doing that, though, you didn't have a name yet, right? Like you were breaking into the business. You were looking at it from kind of the outside. Now, in the last couple of years, I feel like your career has exploded. And as a novelist, you've really become a household name. You've achieved that level of novelist fame. Has that changed the way you look at the subject matter you're writing about? Now you have a little bit or a lot of that fame that you're writing about, and you're a little bit more on the inside of seeing that picture than you were before.
Yeah, I mean, it's not dissimilar, I guess, to like when you start out as a rapper who's like from the hood, and then suddenly you're mega wealthy, and it's not, it's like Bruce Springsteen writing about being in the factory, and then it's like we know Springsteen's not in the factory anymore. I mean, look, there's certainly elements of my life where I'm seeing some of the things that I've written about because I'm a public-facing person.
Yeah.
I feel really, really like I immediately need to reject the idea that I'm in any way famous because novelists just have such a different relationship to their readers than I think any traditional. But I definitely. Look, I'm writing a book now, and there are passages where I feel like I'm writing about I'm writing a book about a famous woman who's surprised, and and I had this scene where she's like not as nice as me, and she was like, I don't want to sign people's stuff, and I don't understand why anyone needs my autograph or whatever. And then I was like, I hope people don't think I'm saying that, because you start my career is changing. And so look, there's some growing pains in that regard, but I am writing about people that I still think are vastly, vastly different from myself, people with massive audiences and a need to tell a story about their lives that I love writing about, but personally I could not do. I'm really, really bad at any kind of acting or insincerity. You get what you get with me. And, it's like, I'm just hanging out at home with my daughter, trying to decide if I should go to McDonald's. And that's kind of like who I am. And I'm not able to pretend to be glamorous. And so, there's some tension there, but in general, I think I'm much more boring than my protagonist.
So we have live questions, and people love chiming in from the audience. So Allison Hammer, who's one of our favorite authors and a friend of ours, she just wrote in and says that she absolutely loves how inventive your story structures are. I think we agree. And she asked, when you're working on a book, do you set out to do something that's never been done before, or this part's for me, or does it just naturally arise from the storytelling?
It's really important to me that I not do something that I've done before, but I'm not so bold as to think that I've done anything that hasn't been done before. I really am just trying to make sure I don't repeat myself. I'm challenging myself. I'm taking on something new. And also, I'm trying to write a story that feels immersive. I'm trying to feel a story that feels like it's putting you in it. And so what is the structure that allows me to do that? And it may be a less conventional structure in order for me to put the reader there the way that I want to. So with Malibu Rising, it takes place over 24 hours. It's divided into each hour. And the reason for that is that I want you to feel like you have that feeling of like the day before the party. And I want you to feel like, oh, the party's starting. We got to get dressed, and like, I want you to feel like, oh, the party's just started. There's not as many people here. And then it's like, oh, geez, there's way too many people at this party. Like I want you to feel that and not just witness it from a distance. And so every time I'm starting a book, it's how do I serve the story best? And I'm totally open to that being something bonkers like, oh, an oral history of a fake famous man. Like, if that's what I think it takes, then that's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome. All right. We have another question from Renee Caruth Minton. She says, I hear your next book will be set in the 90s. Can you tell us anything about it? I'm already excited for the next one.
Well, I thank you. I love that. It is set in the 90s and it's about a famous woman, as I was saying earlier. And there's not much more I can say about it, but I will say this. I see Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones, Malibu Rising in this next one as a sort of quartet, that they are a set that goes together. These are my 4 stories about women living in the public eye. And there's a very specific type of woman that I have not written about yet, and I'm really enjoying writing about. She's, it's a different sort of relationship with the public, and I have had a lot of fun digging into it.
Oh, we are so curious.
Oh man!
Oh.
Okay, I think we should all guess who she's writing about. Inspired by.
Meg Walker just said tease.
Yeah.
No, here's what I think. And I wish Martha Stewart.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
It's a good one.
She says as she looks away and drinks her cup.
Who could it be? Yeah, that's a good one though.
It's obviously not Martha Stewart. Guys, guess. Oh, Courtney Love.
That's a good guess.
Somebody's guessing Courtney Love.
That is a great guess. It is not Courtney Love. There's no corollary. It's not Brittany either, but God, I would love to write that book.
Right.
Wow, that story. Wow.
Here's why I won't, because Brittany has shown me and taught me such a valuable lesson that I feel like I learn time and time again, which is that nobody owns Brittany's story but Brittany. That nobody owns these women's stories but themselves. And look, if Brittany wants to tell her story, I will be first in line to buy it. I love Brittany. And I love Courtney Love too. And Courtney Love is a really good guess. I would love to do a Courtney Love story as well. But again, Courtney Love's very good at telling her own story.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yes.
It's true. Well, I wanted to ask something really quickly that we just haven't quite gotten to yet, but I'm really fascinated by. We know you have 2 TV adaptations in the works. Yes. And we heard that Daisy Jones is in filming now. So can you tell us a little bit about the process of bringing the book to the screen and how involved have you been in that?
Yeah, I mean, my involvement depends on the project. So sometimes I'm really involved, sometimes I'm less involved. And it also has to do with who I'm choosing to work with. What's incredible about Daisy Jones in particular is that, I mean, it's just like a dream. The team that they put together for it is top notch. And I chose the screenwriters in particular, Scott Neustar and Michael Weber, because I'm huge fans of theirs. And so that one was, I just handed it over. And they've done a beautiful job. I called Scott Neustar after reading the drafts, and I was like, I couldn't have asked for anything more. I really couldn't have. And it's a lovely, lovely feeling. And so they're going to start shooting that soon. The cast is incredible. The music is so good. The scripts are great. I'm like, I just can't believe. I'm pinching myself, but like, I think it's going to be great. I think people are going to love it. Malibu Rising was a book that just took me so much longer to write. It has so many different pieces in it that I've stayed on as an executive producer on that one. And so I'm helping to shape the direction of that story. But I have to tell you, again, we found just the most incredible writers. We have 2 women, Liz Tigelaar and Amy Talkington. They really get the story. They get the characters. They get what I'm trying to do. You know, my first conversation with Amy Talkington was like 2 hours, and we just couldn't stop talking about all the things that we had in common and that we wanted this project to talk about. So I get to be more involved in Malibu, but to be honest, I'm also not really needed. Amy has got it. She's doing a good job, and she's putting together just an incredible first episode at the moment. And, you know, we'll see how things unfold from there.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well, we can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I know we all can't wait to watch them. So It'll be great.
Yeah, I also can't wait. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Our Sean just asked if you needed a composer.
He's
He's
a
an
composer.
amazing composer.
I'll
He's
keep it in
awesome.
mind.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mary Kay, do you want to take over?
What am I supposed to ask? I don't know.
We are really polished here, Taylor.
We're really.
We have it together.
I just got here. No. So I know what I'm supposed to ask. Taylor, every week we love to ask our author guests for a writing tip. And really what we just want to know is, how do we write a book that stays on the list for 10 weeks and then immediately gets sold to Hollywood? Could you just really quickly?
Just
I
give us
just
that
kind of writing the tip.
I don't think any of you ladies need help. I think you're all doing pretty well. But I hear you on the writing tip. I think the thing for me that I have found, and it's something that I've learned from reading some of the women that I just love. Madeline Miller comes to mind as a great example of this, which is, write the story that only you know how to write, that uniquely, you are uniquely right for. And I think I found that in writing about fame, I think I found my lane, that thing that feels like I know how to do this and not everybody knows this world. And I think what Madeline does with Greek myth, again, when we're talking about
amazing,
Patti, is like, she has a unique talent to understand both the classical mythology and the academic aspects of what she's writing about, and the ability to write a immensely readable, hugely emotional, tender, soapy, great literary piece. And so she is doing this thing that feels like unapologetically who she is. And I will show up for that every time. Even if it's like, even if I was a person who's like, I don't know if I like Greek myth, you read Circe and you are in the hands of the only person who could tell you the story that way. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And with every next book, I'm trying to think, not just like what's a good idea, but like, what am I so excited about that it feels like only I right now can do this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I love that.
Yeah. So that is a great tip. And I'm just going to go off and write my next, 10 week on the New York Times list bestseller immediately after this show. That sounds great.
That only you could write.
Well, yeah, exactly. I should have it down by about 3 a.m. No problem. Taylor, do you have a book you'd like to recommend that you've read recently that you think we might like?
I do. I just finished. I have been talking about this book to anyone that will listen to me. I think it is the perfect book for people to read if they liked Malibu Rising. And it's the perfect book for people to read if they're super into J-Lo and Ben Affleck right now.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, great. It's called The View is Exhausting. It's by Michaela Clements and Anjali Datta. And it's about an A-list actress. She's got a scandal. In order to weather her scandal in the public eye, she takes up with her friend, playboy, once crush, because the public loves it when they're together. And so the two of them are going to go on yachts all around wherever and try to look like this is a real relationship to get her out of some hot water. But
I wonder if that's what J-Lo's doing.
I know. We don't know.
Well, it's like Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer after all the Friends reunion stuff.
I know. I don't know. But if that kind of stuff, if you like that kind of stuff, this book is just super cool, super fun, just a knockout.
Awesome. Great recommendation.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. All right, Taylor, we have to have some announcements and busy work, but you're not going anywhere, please, because we have another question for you. And same with all of you out there. But first, we want to remind you, all of you out there, one of my favorite things that we do besides this live show is our podcasts. And not only is the show a podcast, but every single Friday, we have a new Writer's Block podcast with our rock star librarian, Ron Block. And it is so much fun. And it's totally different from the show. So if you like hanging out with us here, you will love hanging out with us there. This past week, Ron talked to Y2 Moore and Lisa Donovan about the art of writing memoirs. And it was a really powerful episode. And this week, Ron is talking to Monica West and Wanda Morris about diverse voices in publishing. And I've listened to both of those, and you do not want to miss them.
Oh, I'm so excited. Those are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now, book club, you know we talk about it every week, but if you are not hanging out with us yet in the Friends in Fiction official book club, you are missing out. So the group, which is separate from us and is run by our friends Lisa Harrison and Brenda Gardner, is now more than 8,000 strong. So on Sunday at 7 Eastern, the book club will be celebrating their 1-year anniversary. And then on Monday, I will be joining them to discuss The Forest of Vanishing Stars, my brand new novel. And on September 20th, Patti will be joining to discuss one of her classic, much-loved novels, The Bookshop at Water's End.
And we want to remind you that our bookseller of the week this week is Book Soup in LA. And so don't forget to check them out. They've got some deals. And we hope that you will join us next week at 7. We're going to talk about debut novels. And we love talking about debuts. They're the newbies. And you're going to meet our special guest, a guy you might have heard of. I don't know, Lou Diamond Phillips.
There you go.
He's written a book. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So cool.
Gervais Haggerty and Addison Armstrong. Then in 2 weeks, join us as we welcome Karen Slaughter, who wrote the best-selling new novel, False Witness. I am reading it, and it's keeping me up.
Oh, I bet.
I am
I
afraid.
bet.
You know, when you read Karen Slaughter, you don't dare close your eyes.
No.
And when you have her on the show, but just be
Don't
ready.
close your eyes.
I'm
Don't
nervous.
close your eyes either.
Be ready for a costume drama. That's all I can tell you.
God.
Also, that same night, Patty's going to share her trailer for Once Upon a Wardrobe, and you don't want to miss that. If you are ever wondering about our schedule, because there's a lot to keep up with, we can't even keep up with it all.
I know.
It's always on the Friends in Fiction website, as well as a sidebar with events on our Friends in Fiction Facebook page.
Okay, last announcement. You guys might have heard that Mary Kay, Patti, and I all have winter books coming out this year. And if you want to be the very first to read them, make sure that you check out our Winter Wonderland subscription box with Nantucket Book Partners. You will receive the books just as they're released. They're all signed first editions, along with a really awesome Friends in Fiction coffee mug and branded hot chocolate that you cannot get anywhere else. It's available exclusively through our friends at Nantucket Book Partners.
And of course, tonight, our friends at Book Soup are offering us 10% off Malibu Rising and any of our new novels with the code BKSFF. And that's 10% off. Get your hands on Malibu Rising if you don't have it yet. And think about that Winter Wonderland subscription box. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I want to visit Book Soup.
Oh, I know.
The past couple times I've been in LA, I've meant to go and haven't been able to go. So I'm putting that on my to-do list.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Taylor, I know we talked a lot about your history and moving to Hollywood, but a question that I love, that we all love, and our listeners do too, is a little bit of insight into why you became a writer, which is, what were the values around reading and writing in your childhood? And how do you feel like those might have translated into you becoming the writer that you are?
I love this question. And part of the reason I love this question is because I think a lot of times the answer is, we were big readers when we were kids, or, my mom took me to the library every week. That's not me. I was put in front of the TV, and, it was a latchkey kid.
Oh, wow.
And so I fell in love with reading as a teenager. I came to it My grandmother loved to read, and my mom actually loves to read. It was just, you're a single mom, you got a lot to do,
Yeah.
And so when I was a teenager, my mom started bringing me to the bookstore, and I remember I would like pick out a book, and then I would be like, oh, I don't know if I like it or not. She's like, yeah, that's because you're choosing those ones with those like fancy little vague covers. She's like, you go for V.C. Andrews. You go for, she's like,
That's awesome.
like, come on, and she really taught me, and my grandmother did too, like how, you're just going to get a knockout book. And so I came to it a little bit later, but have fallen in love with it all the same.
Wait, I cannot let you leave, Taylor, until I ask you a burning question that's burning in my heart.
This is making me nervous, Taylor.
Me
Sorry.
too.
Come on.
We're all holding our breath.
What is your favorite Cary Grant movie?
Oh, right. That's harmless.
Very easy for me to answer. It's an affair to remember.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, okay.
How about yours, Mary Kay?
Well, I have a hard time between Charade
Yep.
and well, Charade kind of says it all to me.
Charade is a very good one.
Charade, and there's another. What's the other one? Oh gosh, there's another one. I'm sort of in that Audrey Hepburn. Bringing Up Baby is
That's
great.
a great one.
Yeah, that's a little early for me though. I just love what I really love about Charade is how much older he was.
Yes.
Than Audrey Hepburn, and he knew it was inappropriate, and he felt awkward about it. But I think that made it more charming to me.
It's just a great movie. And North by Northwest is another one of his. It's great.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Story, His Girl Friday. I mean, you can't miss.
Yeah.
Love that.
I have a lot of movie watching to do.
I was going to say, I don't have a pen near me. I'm like, okay, I got to write that down.
I'll give you the list.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. And to everyone out there, we really encourage you to grab Taylor's new novel, Malibu Rising. And how could you not with all you just heard? And hopefully from our bookseller of the week, Book Soup, that is offering 10% off. So thank you so much for visiting us tonight, Taylor. It was such a treat. You were an amazing guest.
Thank you for having me. This is so cool what you guys do. And I'm just really flattered to be included. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hi, Toad. Thank you.
Bye.
That was amazing.
All right, everyone, stick around. We'll see you in a minute at the Sip and Stay with Story Point after show in the summer of Story Point. Say that 10 times fast.
I know, right? Good luck with that.
Next week, same time, same place, as we welcome our special debut novelist guests.
Thank you for tuning in. Join us every week on Facebook or YouTube, where our live show airs every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And please subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. We're so glad you're here. Good night.
That was great.
Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys. And welcome everyone to our Story Point Sip and Stay after show, the wine that loves stories as much as we do.
So I wanted to like her a lot, and I do.
Yeah.
I was really nervous because she's one of those authors that to me, I mean, she is a celeb, but you know how there are different authors that hit us all different ways. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hosting. But I feel the same, Patti, is sometimes you meet someone and you're like, she isn't as great as I thought. She's so great. She is so great. She was one of my favorite guests.
Authentic.
Yep. I feel like I was leaning in the whole show to be okay, all right, I need I need to write that down. This is so great. It's probably one that I will rewatch. I thought she was an incredible guest.
Yeah. They always say, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Sometimes your heroes don't disappoint you.
Yeah.
Like when you met Sue Grafton, right? Yeah. I think about that a lot. Right.
Yeah. When I met Sarah Jessica Parker, I was terrified because I loved Sex and the City so much. Yeah. I was so scared when I met her that she wasn't going to live up to my huge expectations, but she was fantastic. Yep. So I think we had that experience tonight with Taylor. She was great.
For sure. Patti, do you have anybody like that? Anyone that you were nervous to meet and then?
I do. There's a couple people. One was Pat Conroy for sure.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. And then of course, we became dear friends, but The other one was the singer Amy Grant. Do y'all know who Amy Grant is?
Yeah.
And when I was in college, I mean, I played her music until the tape broke. Baby, baby. And I just okay, I'm not going for the high notes. And I think I mean, I saw her at the Armory in karaoke party. I saw her at the Armory in Auburn in 1982. And she's only a couple years older than me, so she was maybe in her 20s. And meeting her was she's exactly who and what she seems to be. Yeah. And I loved that. So
that's awesome.
How about you, Kristy?
This is gonna make you laugh, but you were mine. Yeah. Like when I became an author, you were one of my first, I truly remember going to the event that we were doing and finding out that I was doing a panel with you. And at that point, it was only my first book, but I had done a lot of speaking events. So I wasn't nervous about speaking, but I was like, I can't be on a panel with Patti, Callahan, Henry. Like, I'll be too nervous. And I'll say something stupid and, whatever. And then fast forward 2 days and we were singing show tunes on the floor of a hotel room and drinking champagne out of a bottle.
Out of the bottle. So, absolutely.
The rest is history.
We all say stupid things all the time.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but she kind of lived up to my expectations.
If you were going to tell that whole story and then go, and you know what? You didn't do it for me. You didn't happen.
Yeah,
forgot her name.
Oh, I know, right.
Here, Kirsten. Kelly, what's your name again?
Kathy, Chris.
So, and I remember it was so funny. Like you were taking care of us because we had that long weekend, and you were like, "Okay, here's your emergency.
Take your vitamin C." Yep. Why do you remember that?
I brought you a Perrier. It was so
That's hilarious. Yeah. That sounds hilarious. Very Patti. That's hilarious.
It was really fun.
That's hilarious.
It was really fun.
All right, Kristin, we're dying to know. Did you survive the first day of kindergarten?
Yes. Of course, like anybody dropping their kid off at kindergarten the first day, I was all teary after he got out of the car, right? Like I saved it till after he was out of sight.
Yep.
I was very emotional. He had a great first day. He hopped right out of the car and walked in, no fear. I was so proud of him. He had a great first day and a great second day today. And it's all going really well. Thank you for asking.
And how are you doing?
Oh, I was like a puddle of emotions on the floor yesterday. I was a disaster, but you know what? He's a great kid and it's a great school. And, I'm so, it could not have turned out better so far, at least. So
those first 2 days are great. Good. We've done it now. And can we quit?
Yeah.
Meg said because he has a great mom.
Right. Yeah.
True.
So you all remember the first day you dropped your kids off at school? Mine was in the dinosaur age. I can hardly remember.
I remember them more as an impression than the actual physical. I remember that gut level feeling that she's talking about, but I don't but Kristy, you just did it a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, I actually really remember 2-year-old preschool, the very most, he did one of those little, 2-day a week, programs or whatever. And the really hilarious thing was I remember dropping him off and he was very uncertain and he really didn't want to go and he wasn't really sure. And then he ended up loving it and he had a great time. But the funny thing was they had a rule where you couldn't bring, you brought your snack and whatever, but you couldn't bring stuffed animals or loveys or, because they would have to keep up with them. And he was going through this huge Mickey and Minnie phase. And so we lived really close to the preschool. And so I would stroll him to preschool in the morning and he had his little Mickey and Minnie. And I was like, no, when we get to school, we have to take him home. And so I was just so upset, when I left. I was like, I can't believe our baby's too little. I shouldn't have done this. This is a terrible idea. Yeah. And so I'm walking down the street with the stroller when my friend stops and she's like, You know how you look right now with an empty stroller with a Mickey and Minnie stuffed animal in it, right?
That's awesome.
I just started dying laughing, and it like totally. She was like, "It's a little suspect. Like someone's gonna call the police. This is a problem."
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I wish we had a photo of that. Why don't we have a photo?
Actually, we do. It's not. I'll see if I can scrounge it up. But no, she took a photo and sent it to me.
Andy, who is going to be 35 in September, Katie, his big sister, who was 4 years older, she went right off to preschool, to run it, basically, to tell everyone, here's what we do, here's what we do, let's have some charts. But Andrew, not so much. And so he was in a mother's morning out, and I was working full time as a newspaper reporter. I had a housekeeper, and so her job was to get to the house or pick both of them up from school and bring them home. And so the preschool Katie had already gone through. She was 4 years old, and as I said, she came out of the womb an adult. Andrew, not so much. I got a call. And so I had been involved with the school, and I'd actually been on the little kindergarten or preschool board. I got a call from the school, and they said, Kathy, you need to come get Andrew. And I said, oh my God, what happened? And they said, well, he won't stop crying. The only way he will stop crying is if the teacher holds him in her lap, and it's hard for her to teach preschool. With, 12, 4-year-old.
With him in her lap.
No, because he was convinced we were not coming back for him.
No.
He was thinking it was like taken or something. So his sister loves to torment him with like, dude, you flunked out of preschool.
No.
That's so
sweet, Andy. But wait, we want to know about MKA Vacay. How was it? You did so many things. You had like 6 vacations in one. Like, it's crazy.
We were trapped at home for so long. I just said, I want to go somewhere different. I don't want to be hot. And it was hot in New England. So we flew into Boston. I'd never been to Fenway. I wanted, Tom loves Mexicans. She said, Liam Neeson to rescue Andrew from preschool.
Meg, and you know what? She's sitting there with her mom, Kathy, and that's probably from Kathy.
Right? Kathy's egging her on.
Okay.
We flew into Boston. We went to a Red Sox game at Fenway. But I have to tell you, my favorite part. We went to the Isabel Stewart Gardner Museum.
So cool.
Where the art heist happened, which is why it was fascinating to me, because they stole stuff. But after the game, we left early because it was starting to rain. We went for drinks and late dinner at the Fairmont Plaza, Copley Fairmont Plaza, on right on Copley Square.
So pretty.
And it was so chic and fun, and the most delicious truffle fries you've ever tasted. Then we went to Nantucket, and
awesome.
Went to Nantucket, and we went to dinner and drinks at Ellen Hildebrand's house.
As you do.
One does.
Yeah, I mean,
one does.
That's someone who was as like I remember thinking, wow, she's like really, really nice the first time I ever met her.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we went to dinner and drinks at her house. It was like being in a Nancy Meyer movie the whole time. And did a signing at Mitchell's with our darling Tim from Mitchell's. And that was great. And we had some delightful dinners, had drinks with Nat Philbrick, who is a friend of ours and Meg's. He writes amazing narrative nonfiction history books. Such a great guy. And we met his dog, Dora. Aww. And had lunch with Nancy Thayer and her husband.
Wow.
And as one does in Nantucket, of course.
And then we had drinks with Patty's agent.
Yeah, Meg.
Awesome.
Meg Ruley. Yeah. So we did the whole, and then we, Tim from from Nantucket Book Partners very generously offered us his Jeep, and we roamed around the island and got to places we wouldn't have gotten to see. So it was great. And then we went back and went to a Cape Cod League baseball game, and it was like being in small town.
Patti and I both used to do those games when we were kids.
It's like being in small town America. You know, at the seventh inning stretch, everybody stands up and sings "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and they raffle
and
off.
They eat popsicles and popcorn and sit on blankets.
Yeah, they raffled off a washer dryer, as they do.
As you do. Which team did you go see, Kathy?
Our friend was helping coach the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Oh,
it was so much fun.
We were in Orleans. So.
The Orleans Cardinals. Yep, those are the ones we used to go see too.
That is so funny.
I know.
We're all connected in 1,000 ways. Somebody kicked Kristy off, but
I'm sorry.
I feel like your Nantucket vacation. Meg just wrote, "MKA takes Nantucket. She came, she saw, she conquered." I mean, when I saw the picture, you and Tim, I was jealous of.
Yes.
Yep. Ellen, Nat. Yeah. But when I saw you having drinks with my agent, I got that stab of jealousy, man.
Seriously, FOMO. Well, we had fun and we did discuss you. And then we went to Southwest New Hampshire and stayed with old friends from St. Pete who own an inn. And we sat on the village green in this little town of Fitzwilliam, and we listened to a traditional 6-piece Irish band.
Awesome.
You sent us the shot of it with the music, and I kept hitting play. So Kristy just texted and said that her computer just totally crashed. But Sean is saying that he has the picture. Show it, Sean.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, she looks mad. I'm British
sorry,
mad.
But who is surprised that Kristy looks like a supermodel on her child's first day of preschool? I mean, she looks like a model of
madness.
Right.
Oh my God, I looked like I was like one step away from being admitted to a mental asylum, like an insane asylum yesterday.
Well, the stroller with Mickey and Minnie kind of does lend
that's true.
That's true.
That does that for her. Yeah.
All right, since we lost our leader for the night, I guess we should go.
Well,
but Kathy, we missed you, and we loved living vicariously through you. The pictures were great. The B&B that's for sale.
Can we just talk about the wine? My wine is out. That's why we have to stop talking.
We have to go. Come on.
We need some more story point. All right.
And this is our, we
that's kind of pitiful. That's pitiful right there.
Are they taking us out?
No.
What?
We're
still here.
I think so.
What?
I just was going to say that, what's summer without some story point?
Yeah.
And some stories.
Well, and the Chardonnay is so nice right now, but as we head into fall, we can start sipping the red wine as the nights get a little bit cooler, right? I always worry with the red wine, though, I'm going to spill it on myself or spill it on my nice cream-colored carpet in here. I'm always scared of my own self.
Is it okay?
I just love how the thing just is blocking me out. Come back. There you go. Switch it out. All right. Thank you, Story Point. Thanks, y'all. This was so much fun.
Yep.
This was really great.
All right. Love you, ladies.
Good night.
Love y'all, too.
Good night.
See you later, Gators.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. You can join us every week on Facebook or YouTube, where our live show airs on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. We're so glad you're here.